Juniors are getting the last few people in. Thank you for making your way in. Mr. Villar, you got your super sophomores ready? Excellent. Okay. For those of you who are finishing up, take about 2 more minutes here. Okay, if I could have your attention, please. Good morning, good afternoon, I should say. Good, yeah. For Mr. Underhill, good morning. Read along with me again, just to keep in our mind's eye. We do school and we do it really well. In fact, I want to celebrate that with you, and I'll mention that here in a moment. To seek divine wisdom, to inspire innovative minds, and to build eternal relationships. A quick example of those eternal relationships, I was reminded of that in speech class today. In an exercise, I asked Oliver if he had any family that had gone to school here, and he's like, yes. And his mother was one of my first students back in 1994 here when I was in the classroom full time. And it is fun to see the faces of you who are connected with former students who then myself and others had the blessing to be part of their high school life. Those eternal relationships, those are forever. And sometimes some of you will have stronger relationships than others, but some of you are making relationships here with teachers and friends that will last a lifetime. And again, most of all, that relationship was with Jesus Christ. So as we begin assembly today and look at second semester, let's have a word of prayer as we get started. Gracious God, thank you for today. Thank you for a little bit of sunshine that's peeking our way. Thank you for walking us through and bringing us into this place to spend some time together as a community. We praise you, Lord, for all that you are and all that we are in you. In your name we pray. Amen. Next slide, please. We're just going to be taking a few looks at some of the processes. And I did want to celebrate what we did first semester. In my WIFIS meeting, my Washington Federation of Independent Schools, I'll tell you, great work here at Auburn Adventist Academy. I listen and I pay attention to what other schools have been doing, and I'm able to hear their stories. And friends, we are actually very blessed with our numbers of individuals who have been sick with COVID, but are able to be here back. We are very blessed with the rate at which our faculty and staff have stayed healthy. I want to say good job, not only with school, but with life. Let's keep being cautious. Let's keep doing well. Yeah, thank you, Pastor Chrislin. When I see other schools' reports, there are schools, grade schools and high schools, that have been closed for a week since Christmas time. So there are schools that have, Orcas Island was closed for 2 weeks, our sister Adventist high school up in Orcas Island. 2 weeks they were shut down, and we haven't had to do that. So as much as these are still not what we'd like to do, we know we can do those and we continue to move forward. One goal that I don't have a slide for, but I want to share with you, is that a number of individuals, your colleagues, your friends, came and shared with Mrs. Kissinger at times, Mr. Underhill, and myself, a desire for a better learning environment during 5th and 6th period study halls. We need to pay attention to that. We are going with a more structured form of study hall. Study hall is not our social time. It is an academic time, a time to learn. And so regardless if you have homework or not, look upon it as an opportunity to learn. And we're dividing out the groups using Dower to its extent. There are about 35 kids in Dower, about 20 kids in the library. Mrs. Eschbach will have a list posted. Mrs. Eschbach will have a list for the kids that will be in the library. and then the rest will be in Dower for 6th period. 5th period, good job. Thank you, those of you who are in Dower, 5th period. And if you're looking for work still and you have 5th or 6th period and you're not working, take advantage of that and maybe get some work in. Teachers, if you're looking for students to work, 6th period, we have a number of kids who are available to come in and do different tasks in your classroom. So pay attention to that. Next slide, please. I think our next one, and while we go to the next one, I'm going to ask Denelli to come up and share an announcement before Mrs. Kissinger comes up to share an announcement about our calendar.
Hey guys, so Spirit Week is coming up in 2 weeks. I hope you guys are excited because I know I am. And I'm just here to remind you of all the days we're going to have, so I'm just going to read them off. So Monday will be meme/Vine Day, so you come dressed up as a funny meme or Vine, whichever you'd like. Then Tuesday will be Holiday Day, major or minor holidays. You can make it funny. Then Opposite Days on Wednesday is where you dress up with a partner, dress up like opposite aesthetics or like, I don't know, just opposite. And then Theater Thursday, you dress up as a character from any movie or TV show. And then Friday, of course, will be Falconthal Friday. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Good afternoon. You can go ahead and flip this slide. I'm here to talk about academics. Okay, most of you know that we've just started second semester. Okay, it began on Monday, so go ahead. Final grades will be posted and report cards will be printed January 31. Okay, so that's when everything will be finalized. That's when the grades that will be locked into your transcripts. So if you have any questions about your grades, talk to your teachers, okay? If you've been given grace and an extension on anything, get that stuff done as soon as possible. MAPS testing. Most of you finished. Great job on MAPS testing, you guys. I mean, I have, of the people that were here, I still have about 3. Only 3. Last year I had tons. So great job. Those of you who were sick, we will get you tested as we can in the next week, okay? So don't worry, we'll get that. All right, next slide. Scheduling classes. A lot of you have responded to my email about scheduling classes. You know, if you wanted a class change, whatever. Great job. The last day to add a class is the 31st. Okay? After today, though, you will need to fill out an add drop slip. Those are in the office. If you don't have an add drop slip after today, I'll say, here's the add drop slip. Go have you and your teacher fill it out, okay? Last day to drop a class. Say that you're in a class and you just, nope, this is not for me. The last day to do that is February 7th. But remember, if it's a required class, you may not be able to drop it. You may just have to stick it out and keep trying to do your best. Keep talking to your teachers. Keep getting the help that you need. All right, next slide. One last note. Credit recovery. Some of you may have not lived up to the expectation that you had for yourself or for grades, and that's okay. We have options. Okay, all is not lost. You can do credit recovery either online or in person. If you do it in person, you'll be doing it here. You'll just take the class again next year, or probably next year, because this semester is already pretty full. So that you can take the same class here. Next one. You can use one of our approved online schools. We work with several approved online credit recovery schools so that you can get the credit you need to graduate and to progress, because if you're in Algebra 1, you want to be able to take Algebra 2, or you want to be able to take, if you're in biology, you may want to be able to take A and P, so you have to have a certain grade in order to do that. And we can do that with one of our approved online schools. And these can also be taken in the summertime, so you don't have to worry about it now. We can wait and take it in the summertime. Come and see me if you fall into that category. What I do have to say is I printed out, Mr. Falconthal had me print out a list of the kids, of you guys, our students that were 3.5 and above. That list was 2 pages plus some. for 3.5 and above for first semester. Awesome job. Keep up the good work.
All right, I got to talk a little bit about some healthy habit stuff. So you can go ahead and just put those bullet points up. I think there's about 4 of them there. Yeah, one more. Staying healthy, making sure you are drinking enough water, making sure you are getting exercise, making sure you're eating well, making sure you're getting your rest. What happens when you sleep? Does anybody know what happens when you sleep? John, what happens when you sleep? Your body recovers. Gets that focus. You can't focus in class. You can't seem to get it. Make sure you're getting your sleep. Make sure you're hydrating, and it's hydration with water, not soda. Okay? Sorry, Mountain Dew does not help you. Red Bull does not help you get hydrated. It actually works the opposite direction. Okay, it's called a diuretic. It actually makes you get rid of water rather than having the water. And water is the fuel that allows your body to function well, that allows your mind to function well. And like Mrs. Kissinger said, that's what our goal is for you this semester. That's cool that we had 2 pages plus of 3.5. I would like 200 and what? How many students do we have? 214? 208? I don't remember. I want 200 students on a list that says 3.5 or better for this semester. You can do that. Y'all have the capability. It's just whether or not you want to do the work. We're still in COVID, and you're all tired of hearing me say this, but too bad you have to hear it again. Wear your mask appropriately. Keep your space. It's a hassle, 100%. Are many of us tired and exhausted from it? Better believe it. You, me, and I would wager 99% of our community is tired. But we're going to persevere. Okay? One of the other things I want to talk about here just for a moment before I pass it off to the next person. Plan ahead and reduce your stress. Very rarely do we excel under stress. Usually it is stress that causes us to snap at people. We're under high stress, and so we get mad quicker. We don't do as well. How many of you, and you don't have to raise your hand, just you can kind of mentally think about that. How many of you, when you go to take a test and you start to get that heart rate up and you start to kind of panic, I don't know if I know enough of this. And then, oh man, I really didn't do very good on that test. You kind of become our own self-fulfilling prophecy. That's that stress element. Doesn't allow us to reach our best. Planning ahead does not eliminate stress, but it can help reduce the stress because you know you're prepared. You're ready. Okay? Let's have a great second semester. You guys can do this. Sorry, I forgot to look to see who was next.
I'm just going to cap off on what Mr. Underhill said. This is the second semester. This is your opportunity to start over again. To start over again. And one thing you guys all need to do is get your assignments in on time. Get your work in on time. Your teachers give your assignments. You can go to your Jupiter. You can see what your assignments are. Make sure you plan ahead. Not only for our rest and things like that, but for our work as well. So get those assignments in on time. Number 2, be on time for your classes. It was so cool on Tuesday and Wednesday when we had map testing to go in and look at the attendance and see that most of everybody was here. There were very few absent, unexcused, or tardy, unexcused. And boy, did that make my day easier. But for you, look at your attendance. Look at your attendance every day. I had someone come in today and say, hey, I got marked absent for a class and I was there, check your attendance. Make sure. Do not wait a week later or 2 weeks later. You have 5 days. If you see something wrong on there, you need to see me within 5 days and come in so we can correct that. But make it a point to be to your classes on time, because if you're not, you're 10 minutes late, what are you? You're absent. It is not excused, you're absent for the day. So let's make it a point to get there. Next, no absences unless you are sick or you have an appointment. So let's focus on looking at our attendance and having a whole bunch. I saw one student who had nothing but present across their attendance for the whole week. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. Let's make it our goal. Let's make some higher goals. Let's bring up the standard a little bit and try to be on time and not be absent. Last but not least, let's see here. Plan ahead for your trips. So you've heard me say this before. If your spring break is coming, some of your families are planning trips. If you know that, your parents can let us know. Send you come and get that pink form, fill that form out, let us know so you can plan ahead. And is that it? That is it. So remember, make this second semester higher standard for you guys.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Maxwell. And again, drop in the office. I see many of you, when you have questions, drop into the office. Let's just look at some things that are on our calendar, and then we're going to look at some major events that are scheduled through the end of the year. And Mark, I got my slides here, so I'll read off of this if you'll just follow along. This Saturday night, we have Battle of the Sound, so come and join those basketball games. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know, we might need to check with Mr. Martin. Is this a white out or color out, or what are we doing Saturday night? So maybe we need to find out. Friendship tournament, leaving next Thursday to go to Walla Walla. Going to be a great time over there. Spirit Week was mentioned. Be involved. Classes, your sponsors count. They need to dress up with you, okay? And you can go ahead and adopt sponsors if you don't have enough, and get them involved with your class. On the 4th, we have Academy Day. We will have guests on campus. You had a unique experience with your Academy Day. The sophomores had a much more, was it typical Academy Day for you guys? Yeah. Right before we went into COVID. Yeah. And juniors and seniors, you had an Academy Day. Well, we're going to try and do a fairly normal Academy Day, just one day. Friends, they need to see your smiling eyes. They do. Because they're not going to see anything else. But be friendly. A lot of you are going to be helping to be ambassadors that day and help those students around. Mrs. Hubin depends heavily on you in being that for those. Senior recognition that night. Senior recognition for the class of 2022. Let's give them a hand. We are months away from 2022. And then another one, going back to Walla Walla with Music Festival. There are going to be individuals from Sylvan going over and singing, individuals from the orchestra going over. A lot of opportunities to have some more of the typical things that we've done. Let's go to the major events, and we'll walk through that. Walk through that with me as we look at major events. We've got a number of major dates coming up. March 6th, friends, we're going to have a banquet. Is that good news? Yeah. Yeah. Listen. Now let's hold on this one for a moment. Don't worry about if you have a date. Come to the banquet, right? And is this is girl ask guy? Is that right? Is this ladies ask ladies? Ladies, if you need help asking that guy out, let me know. Let me know. Okay? You know that intercom system, I can help you with the intercom if you need, or I could call somebody into my office if you need, or room check in the dorm. So anyway, we're more than willing to participate if need be. Hold with me on the next one. So we've left asynchronous days before spring break on our schedule for this reason. We want it to remain part of our culture. Did we have we had asynchronous days before COVID with you guys, a couple days. This is because in the future, we're going to have mission trips and study tours going at spring break again still. These days are flex days, but the work has to be done by when you come back from spring break. Does that make sense? Some of you are going to do all the work that's assigned. This may be a bit of project-based, but you're looking at 3 days of classwork. Teachers are responsible to create an activity and assignment to be sent to you through Jupiter or Classroom for 3 days. Some form of activity. This allows you to do it. Somebody might leave on the evening of the 15th and go see family in Southern California. Do your work from there. Some of you might get it all done in those 3 days. Others of you may spread it out through spring break. Does it make sense? It needs to be done before you come back from spring break, so you have to manage that time. Alumni Weekend, or Hearts of Gold, is a school day. It's a Sunday. It's a school day. We haven't done this for a while, with it being a full school day. Juniors and seniors, you are intimately involved with serving those that come to the banquet, okay? And question? No, this is a school day, so there's no community service hours attached to this. This is a school day activity for the school as a whole, okay? Some of you who work in the cafeteria will be working in the cafeteria. And then freshmen and sophomores, as part of that, if you're not working at assigned responsibilities to help some of the faculty and staff with jobs, your contribution on this school day is projects on campus in the morning from 10 to 2, and your sponsors will be talking to you about that. Juniors and seniors, all of you, your attendance is in the afternoon, and it's in the afternoon through the evening, through the banquet, okay? We all get to do this. I would dare say it's about 85% of you benefit from the money that's raised from this event, because this money goes to worthy students. That's amazing. That's good news, and we can be happy for that. So we need your help. Alumni Weekend, we're going to be singing. We'll see old people on campus, and we will be celebrating who they are. And then, I was just planning, don't have the specifics in mind, and I didn't even bring it up at faculty meeting, but looking at the end of the year, seniors, you have skip days, we have other activities, other end of the year. And in my mind, I'm like going, okay, we've got to find a sunny day to go back out to the lake before we leave for the school year, right? Don't you think? And, yeah. And I already have 3 more boats lined up, and we are going to create a system so you don't have to stand in line to go out on the inner tubes. We're going to have a blast. And I'll just forecast this right now. Talked with some of your leaders and some of your classmates, and do you know what they said they recommended was one of the biggest adjustments for Lake Day? They recommended no phones, because people getting lost on their phones and just hanging out on their phones missed out on a lot of fun. That Lake Day was a blast. Thank you. We are super happy with what's coming up, and we've been doing great work. Let's finish really extremely strong. Pastor Crystalline.
Thank you. Did anybody drop their phone in the lake? That's another good reason to leave your phone. Yeah. Okay, so really quickly, we're just going to talk about a few things here. Earlier this week, we celebrated MLK Day, and I wanted to show you some of the things that we're doing here on our campus to live out that dream that he had, where it is in reality. And if you go to the school website, there's a couple of really cool links that you can see kind of the progress of the EDA coalition. Some of you might be wondering, what's EDA stand for? Equity, diversity, and accountability. And a coalition means a collaboration between community members and school. So you can go there and you can look at some of the timeline of events that have been happening. You can also go, if you go to the home page, just so you can kind of see where to find all this info. Go ahead and scroll down. Right there on the left. So you'll see read more, And then it'll take you to 3 different spots. The action steps is where you were at. If you'll go ahead and click on focus group, that'll kind of tell the story of who the coalition is, a little bit of that. That's the original coalition. You can see some of those faces there. And if you scroll down a little bit further, our subcommittees. So some of those are there, as well as just more updates and that kind of thing. Some of the things that we have, like the grievance policy, the equity, diversity, and accountability, not only statement, but what does it mean to live those out? What does it mean to actually be people that do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly? So you can check those out. That's where you can go and kind of look at those. There's some links you can follow and that kind of thing. Super exciting. Also with that, in the coming weeks, you'll meet our interim ombudsman, who was voted in this last week. And you'll learn more about what does that word even mean, if some of you don't know what that is. So you'll learn more about that. At this point, I want to invite Peyton Arnett up. Whoop, 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 whoop. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I apologize for my energy. When you live with toddlers. Yeah.
I think that works. Yeah. All right, so something I'm really passionate about, I think is really important, is conversation. So probably 2 months ago or so, I put a piece of paper outside the campus ministry's office. I now realize that the way I formatted it was a little weird, because I made it so you would have to write your name on this sheet that everyone would walk by. That's maybe not the best way to do it. And then Pastor Eddie came up with a significantly better idea. I saw in his office he put a QR code. It's like, that's a way better idea. And when Pastor Crystal mentioned this to me today, I was like, I ought to do that. So I think I'm going to update that forum. And I just want you guys to know that we have staff members here who are always willing to talk. And I also want to make it known that as a peer, I want to be able to have those conversations as well, no matter what that's about, whether that's about the Bible, whether that's about issues they're having. If you want to have a conversation with a peer, I'm here as spiritual vice president. I want that to be part of this position that I hold. So there'll be like a QR code thing, as well as my email and phone number. You can contact me if you just need to talk to somebody. So I'm here.
Thank you. While he's sitting down, if you serve with the campus ministries team in any way, just go ahead and take a stand so your fellow students can see who you are. And so seriously, like, if you have any questions or ideas, we need some freshmen on that, huh? If you have any ideas or like, hey, we should do this or that, don't be afraid to come up and give those suggestions. There's 2 more people I'm going to call down really quickly, and that's Daisy and Pastor Eddie. So Daisy, come on down. She's going to say something about Project Unity and our next Culture Chapel. Give it up for Daisy.
Hey everyone, I just want to announce that Project Unity is having another chapel. Can anyone guess what our upcoming Culture Chapel is? No. No.
Yes, eventually,
I
yes,
mean,
but
yeah.
before that.
It's our Asian Cultural Chapel, and with that being said, I just want to invite, if anyone wants to participate or be involved, to let me know so we can start planning something fun so everyone can learn about your culture.
Yeah, all right. And Pastor Eddie.
Just to add real quick to what Daisy was saying, we'll also be sending out some quick surveys, and that could also be a way you can submit ideas for Project Unity chapels coming up, and if you want to volunteer. Speaking of QR codes, Peyton was talking about that. Many of you have noticed and have been using the QR code that's just outside of my office door the last few months. But I wanted to make you aware, in case you don't know, or maybe you're not sure how to use one. You're welcome, always welcome, to walk into my office anytime. If I'm not meeting with another student, then I am all ears, so that is always welcome. But if you want to guarantee, like if you need to talk to me about something, and you want to guarantee a time slot with me, the best way to do that is to scan that QR code, pull out your phones, your phone camera, scan it. It'll come up with the link. It'll take you to my calendar, where you can select a class period, a time slot that you're free, and then you just hit that. It's pretty straightforward, and it pops up on my phone when you do that, so that I know. So it's just a great way to guarantee that time. The second thing that I want to make you aware of is there has been a lot of change and transition at the Auburn Adventist Academy Church recently. And some of you, dorm students, you attend church here, village students, some of you attend elsewhere. But I want to bring to your attention some exciting things that we have been working on. Pastor Rowe, myself, and Pastor Chrislyn, we've just kind of been dreaming up together on how to just redefine the culture of our church to be a church that just loves young people well. And so we're still working on what that's going to look like exactly, but we're just excited to make this a church where you're not invited to as guests, but it's a church that belongs to you. So,
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. And lastly, Mina is going to come up and just give a little invitation for this Friday. She's our last one. Give it up for Mina.
Guys, so this tomorrow, we have a Vespers at 7, I believe. And just a little reminder that Village kids are just as welcome as the dorm students, and we'd love to see you guys there. And I encourage you to come. We're having a great speaker. It's going to be Pastor Rome, and it's going to be Pastor Ofa. I was kidding. That was a joke. Anyways, we're going to have Pastor Ofa, who is Dean Jackie's husband. Super interesting guy. So I encourage you guys to come and listen. Thank you.
To close today, we talked about a lot of goals. I asked Cassie Kiger to come up and share some things. She came up about a month ago. Cassie, come on up here. She came up, I called her up because of her excellence. Excellence translates beyond academics, beyond what we have in place. And Cassie, I asked Cassie to talk about 3 things that she does that make her a great student. So Cassie, the time's yours.
Hi, I'm Cassie. So I wanted to just share a few things that I do for studying. Obviously, it doesn't work for everyone, but maybe you could get some tips if you're struggling right now. Something that I like to remember when I'm studying is to take things one at a time, because I know, especially coming in for freshmen from middle school, sometimes having all of those classes to coordinate can be really stressful and overwhelming. So I think it's good to remember when you're working on stuff that just work on that thing for that moment. If you're working on like a math assignment, don't be stressing out about an English paper you have due next week. Just focus on that one thing for right now, and it can make your projects a lot easier, I found, just because the more you don't spiral about how much you can do, I feel like the more you can actually get done. The other thing I would say that I like to do is to make a plan. I have a little notebook that I keep in my backpack that every day I just keep a checklist of stuff I need to get done, and that helps me keep more organized and on top of things. So I know some people organize it differently, like I know people use like sticky notes or a planner, but I think just making a plan however you do it is really good. And then lastly, I would recommend finding a way to study that works for you, not necessarily the way everyone else does. Like for me, I know just reading through the textbook to prepare for a test doesn't always help me very much, but I found like orally, and if I like put it to the test, like discuss it with people, it works better. So I know like something that some of us from physics started doing for tests is like we have a little group chat and someone will like make a sample problem and we all try to solve it together and like discuss how we got there. So that really helps me personally to understand what's happening. So I think, just finding creative ways to study and approach your schoolwork. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cassie. Friends, let's have an amazing second semester. We are blessed to be here at Auburn Adventist Academy. And one last thing, as you go back to the ad building, hold the door open for everybody over on the other side. There are 2 doors, and right now one that stays locked as we're working on the security system. But reach around, let's get both those doors open so that we can get into the ad building and get to our classes. We've got a couple minutes extra, so we'll be there on time. Have a great afternoon. God bless all of you. Thank you for all the work. Appreciate it.